The Packers will have a first and goal. Receiver to the right, Jimmy Graham. Rodgers, quick toss in the flat, left side, got his man for the end zone, and a touchdown.
First and Goal podcast on Spreaker.com. And we're now on all your favorite platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify, CastBox, Google Podcasts, Tumblr, YouTube, and SoundCloud. You can always follow us on Twitter at First and Goal Pod and our Facebook page, facebook.com/First and Goal Pod 33.
Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Every day I'm 3, 2, 1.
And welcome, everybody, to another live edition of First and Goal with me, your founder and producer, Jay, in the UP. And down in Georgia, your host with the most, it's Dave.
What's going on, folks? I'm watching, and I just saw another Green Bay touchdown in the preseason week 4, right before halftime. Bayless, the tight end, caught a touchdown on a little out route from Kaiser. Man, that makes the QB backup battle a little interesting.
Yes, he did. I believe we have a pretty good game going on. Defense is showing out. Walked in the door from roofing today on my day off, and the first thing I see when I get my phone on the charter after watch the game is Kingsley Kiki, big boy, breaking through for a third down sack, making the play. And then right after that, the next thing I get to see is our boy Ty Summers, who we believe was going to make this team with a pick six.
There's no way you can turn that down.
No.
Oh, great. Awesome. Sternberger's getting carted off. Oh, God. I really hope his knee's okay.
It didn't look good, man.
Yeah, the way his knee twisted.
But I'm sure it's more precautionary than anything.
I sure hope so, because we can't really afford to lose him this year, because that's why we drafted him.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's almost like the Jimmy Graham that can block in the future of this offense.
So he's the Jimmy Graham that we're only paying $2 million for instead of $10 million.
Well, if he's not hurt, dang it.
Yeah. I know.
So let's get right to it, because we need Dave and your news updates.
News updates. Well, you know what? Outside of Green Bay today for the news, Matt Bryant is getting another tryout with the Falcons. And I'm surprised because they're the ones who let him go, and now they're giving him another tryout because Blair Walsh, the former Vikings kicker, missed 5 kicks in the preseason game last week. So, yep, Blair Walsh washed his own field goal kicker tryout. So, yes, and the pun is overintended because he washed it, and he washed it. So the Falcons probably are going to go back to Matt Bryant leaning on him. He's an older guy. He doesn't really have a strong leg like he used to, but he still has the accuracy. Laramie Tunsil, offensive tackle from Miami, is on the trade block for Miami, and apparently Miami wants to try and get Jadeveon Clowney. Well, the Texans want a Pro Bowl left tackle. Tunsil is that guy. And I read a report today that Dolphins players would revolt and rebel against the Miami franchise if they traded Laramie Tunsil, because he's that good. He's a locker room leader. He's a stud player, and if I'm Miami, I wouldn't give up a player that I'm having a dozen other players go. If you trade that guy, we're not playing. Like, that to me right there, like, don't jeopardize your whole season over a really shiny item on the outside of your team. I understand Clowney looks good, but guys, injury history is also but not there. Like, I mean, the injury history is there, and he's had to sit out from time to time because of injury, and Tunsil hasn't. He's been solid.
Trade in itself makes absolutely no sense when you're talking about team building and how hard it is to find one position to play versus the other. And therefore, I can understand why the Miami players, regardless of his locker room presence, their understanding is like, you're basically telling us we're not going to try to win, and why do we want to be a part of that? Because you're not finding another left tackle to come in and play that's already as good as Lermy Tunsil. And let's be real, had that thing not come out with him in the mask and all that, he would have went a lot higher, and Miami wouldn't have him in the first dang place. So I can completely agree with this Miami locker room here. This trade from the get-go just did not make sense to me, and it screams from Miami's end, we're just throwing in the towel. And it's just not something I'm down with. I'm sorry. It's why I don't really care for the NBA. We don't need this stuff happening in the NFL. Is all, I guess, my opinion.
No, I gotcha. I definitely see where you're coming from. Well, actually, going to another position that we just discussed is left tackle. Bruce Allen, the president of the Redskins, came out and said, no, we have a pretty good feeling Trent Williams, our holdout, will be there for week 1. Well, Trent Williams, not even 30 minutes later, and came out and said, Bruce, I will not be there. 0% chance on week 1 or in that building ready to play week 1. So I don't know how else I need to make it more clear. So, yep, looks like Trent Williams is definitely either going to be sitting or getting traded, and it doesn't benefit the Redskins to let him sit when you can go and trade for someone like Clowney from Houston for your tackle. You got a guy that's willing to go, wants out of town, go and get Clowney, put him on that defensive line where it's already talented enough, and then you bolster that defense even more. So, Redskins is obviously, to me, a place they could go, but I don't know. I just thought with Clowney he'd make sense with Trent Williams because Trent Williams wants out that bad because the medical staff is horrible in Washington.
Still from my football standpoint, a bad trade, but circumstances cause things, even in opinions like I just stated, you have to adjust it. And this is a little different. I don't agree with the premises of that trade, but you made the point. The guy isn't going to play. So if you're not going to have a left tackle this year anyway, okay, this is a time where that trade makes sense because you did lose one of your outside edge rushers in free agency. You didn't really replace him with a guy that is, as talented or as versatile. So this trade actually makes sense because whether or not they make the trade, they don't have a left tackle. He's not playing. He's, like you just said. So this, again, the other way,
you might as well make something out of nothing.
Right. So this is a different scenario, even though the basis of the, like I just stated, I wouldn't agree with. In this scenario, you're either in a lose-lose or a lose, gain something situation. Because you're still in a lose-lose, losing your left tackle for an edge rusher, but you're not going to have him anyway. So get something for him, and you might as well go ahead and get a premier player for a premier player. This one makes total sense, and how it hasn't happened is the stubbornness that they think that they're going to sway this guy. They're not going to sway him. He's made his decision. They screwed this up from the get-go with him and the medical staff. It's their problem. They might as well just cut bait and get what they can. I totally agree with you.
Well, you know what? I want to save some of this talk for going ahead and trying to get Parker Moe on here, the number 1 fan for the Packers, and get on here and we can talk about the first half and what he's thinking for 53-man projections, stuff like that.
That sounds like an excellent idea. So guess what? We're going to go ahead and take a break and call Parker Moe. We'll be right back, folks.
I've been grinding so long, been trying this shit for years. And I got nothing to show, just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me round.
And it is good to be alive right about now. And we are now joined by the Packers' #1 fan, Parker Moe. Say hello, Parker.
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
You are
no
most
problem,
certainly
man.
welcome. So, right away, Parker, what we do with all of our first-time guests is we give them what we call brag time. And it's just a few minutes to introduce yourself, tell everybody where you came from, pat yourself on the back, hype yourself up, tell everybody how great you are, and give yourself a hug. Shoot, Parker.
All right, I'm Parker Mose. I have been a writer for a big-time Packer page called Die Hard Packer Fan. On Facebook, we have about 218,000 followers and growing. I believe we're one of, if not the biggest Packer Facebook page right now. I also am on Twitter at Parker Mose. My following is pretty good. I post my articles that I write for Die Hard Packer Fan on Twitter and Facebook. And I can be reached on social media via that or the Die Hard Packer Fan page.
Well, see,
Sounds awesome, man.
He did a lot
Thank
better
you.
than the last few people on here. They were just so humble and short. At least we got a good spiel from Parker. I like it, Parker. Way to go.
Yeah, that's the whole point of brag time.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I'm going to go out and call it now. Man, I just saw Jake Sternberger get carted off. I really hope everyone's okay with that kid.
Yeah, I saw that too. It was very, very sad to see, honestly. So I hope he's okay too. I hope it's not too serious. I don't know exactly what happened, but
just the way. So he came down. The defender landed on his leg, and it just twisted just enough. And that's the thing. He had a little hitch in his run. But the thing is, if he tore he was running to the tunnel, to the sideline. If he tore his ACL, he wouldn't be doing that. So I'm just hoping it's something we can use basically to give him light practice throughout the week and maybe see some reps against Chicago next week.
Sure. Yeah, that would make the most sense. And try to get it healed as fast as possible, and hopefully it's not as serious as they're saying, or if they say it is serious. I don't know exactly how serious it is, but he just got carted off, so I don't know if it's got diagnosed yet, but so hopefully it's okay.
So,
all right. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, I was just going to ask him, do you have any guys that you're kind of pulling for that have kind of impressed you that might be on the bubble that, are looking for a good game this game?
This game, as far as evaluation for me, I think the biggest person that I've seen make a jump is Ty Summers. He was actually a guy that I predicted to make the 53-man roster when we drafted him, just from me watching his tape. He's a very, very aggressive